like to call the meeting to order, please. Johanna, will you read the statement of compliance?
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual meeting notice was sent to the Atlantic City Press, Star Ledger, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, the municipal website, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk. Please turn off all electronic devices.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Johanna, please take the roll.
Mayor Collins,
Here.
Commissioner Blumberg,
I am here.
Commissioner Horn,
Here.
Is there a motion for the approval of the August 15th, 2024 regular and workshop capital minutes and the February 15th, 2024 and February 21st, 2024 executive session minutes?
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Horn,
Yes.
All right, we will now open it up to public comment. If anyone has any public comment, please step forward to the microphone. State your name and address.
Dennis Gorniewski, 7702 Amherst Avenue. I had some questions from the last meeting I was supposed to get an answer back on concerning the lot that's across from the CVS. That was, at that time, was supposed to be how much money was collected there, and there is also a lease for the other 20 spots. That lease is up, and have never got any comments back about it, or calls. So is the lot going to be renewed again for 20 years across from the CVS to the current person?
So Dennis, we were able to find that lease. I'm pulling it up now. It was signed in 2005, effective date January 2006, and it was a 50-year lease. So it doesn't expire till 2056.
That is ridiculous. All right, next question. Since we have billing or charges now between Memorial Day and Labor Day, what's that lot being leased for the next 50 years for?
I don't know offhand. Do you know, Johanna or Lisa, do you know the
dollar amount?
the dollar amount for that?
Roughly, we receive, I believe it was $6,200. I'd have to look up. It's increased every 3 years in accordance with the
That's
CPI.
6,200 a year?
Yes, I just pulled up so the lease was $5,000 per year with a cost of living increase every 3 years. So sounds like current year is
So for
slightly
20,
over
so
6,000.
20 spots, which is not 12. You said it was 12, it was 20 spots, Mr. Abbott. Will be used by this person who owns it, this property manager, whoever, for 50 years, while I understand the last time the police chief was bragging, they collected $22,000 in 1 month. So I'm a little confused now. Why would somebody give a 50-year lease on a property where they knew back in 2005 there was a problem with parking here?
I wish I could answer that for you, Dennis, but
So you don't see it changing that agreement for the 50-year agreement?
we read there is no exit clause for the city to remove themselves from that agreement.
Okay. Who owns the property?
The city does, I believe, correct?
So the city owns the property, so half of it's rented to this person. Who owns the other half? Whose name's on this property for 50 years? Who owns that?
The original lease agreement was one entity, and it has changed hands 2 or 3 times, I believe.
So who's the entity? Who do you?
I don't have the current entity.
Who maintains the parking lot? You do, or do the person who rents those 20 spots there?
I don't know the terms of
Yeah,
the
I believe
specific terms of the
they're-
lease.
I believe they're responsible for the maintenance of the property. I did not read through the entire.
Well, can somebody get an answer? Since it's for 50 years, it doesn't make any sense that somebody would issue it a lease for 50 years when property is I can't believe. We get $6,200 for a year, not a month, a year. This person, we don't, it's changed hands but the property, you know, reverts to this I think it needs to be looked into. I've never heard of a 50-year lease given by a city for a property unless there's something underhanded with it. That's all I can say.
Dennis, I agree with you. There's a 50-year lease for that property. There was I believe there's a 99 or 50-year lease for the SEPTA property. To me, those are outrageous and
understand.
should be shorter term because, you know, predicting in 2006 where we would be in 2056, I think, you know, that was a mistake on the city at that time. But we are bound by that agreement, and
Well, I would say whoever our lawyer is, will have a look into. 'Cause that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. There has to be something in that clause that they can back out. Themselves
I
have
read
to
it.
leave.
Scott has a copy. There is no.
Oh, it's ironclad, right?
Nothing's 100% ironclad.
Right.
It is a valid contract, and it's been in effect for over 20 years. I think it was entered into, would you say, 2004?
Well, 2006.
End of 2005, effective date was January 1, 2006.
None of
Okay.
us were here at that time, Dennis. I wasn't.
It doesn't matter who's here. It looks like it made no sense for 50 years. So that's,
Yeah.
if you can look into it, I would say, you know, but anyway. The other thing was, there was a statement made at the last meeting by our chief of police about a 12,000. 12,000 what? Is it 12,000 calls he made mention of?
In reference to what, Dennis? 12,000?
That's what I'm saying. He made that statement. Got out proudly in the meeting, the last one, and said there was we had 12,000 calls or whatever, I don't know what. But I went on the crime scene here for Margate for 2023. We had 81 crimes reported to the state. So what's 12,000 calls?
Well, calls are different. Go ahead.
Yeah, I might be able
Go ahead.
to assist with that. So basically, anytime an incident, someone calls 911 or reports an incident,
Right.
an incident report is generated.
Right.
And the police responded to 12,000 calls for service during 2023. I'm pretty sure that's where the chief was going with that statement, that they responded to and showed up for 12,000 plus incidents in 2023.
Okay, 12,000.
That's
12
what my notes say
Yeah, that's,
from my
Okay.
minutes.
No.
12,000 calls for assist, and 120 motor vehicle crashes.
right, okay. So 12,000 calls in a year works out to like 2.1 calls an hour. 24 hours a day, that's like 52 calls. I can't believe we had 12,000.
No, it was 1,200 calls.
No, he said 12,000.
They definitely had probably 12,000 incidents reported for the year. That wouldn't surprise me.
Because it's also your department as well.
You know, to speak for this, you know, I can
Yeah.
only speak for the fire department.
Right.
In 2023, we responded to 2,200 calls for service where the fire department or EMS was requested to respond. The
That-
police,
that
now
I
you
can
got to
see.
remember, they handle all those other types of calls. Anytime someone calls, whether it's for a dog barking, someone walking on the beach, a questionable individual, or something that's wrong, they document that as an incident and a police officer responds to investigate. So I wouldn't say, it would not surprise me that he spoke about 12,000 incident responses that they responded to.
That I would like to, because I live right on the main street of Amherst Avenue. I can tell you how many times your fire trucks come down from the second firehouse, okay? I could,
many times?
I don't live down by here, okay? I can only question what I have there. When you tell me maybe 2,200, maybe for the entire year, okay, close number. Because EMS, I can't tell you how many comes from down here. But when you tell me that they handle 10,000 other calls, after this 13 weeks, the city is dead. From the statistics over here, it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm glad I live in a safe town, but
But 3 people can call for the same incident.
then that's
and each
not
one
considered
counts.
12,000 calls.
And the
It
point
is
Then you
counts.
need
is
to,
what?
then you need to say, like the following here. Like, for instance, how many murders we had? 0. How many robberies we had? 1. Aggressive assaults. Don't make it sound like we have 12,000 individual call-outs per officer here, okay? Because before the police department. Having a response every two, for the number of police officers we have is impossible for them to handle. Maybe they have 5 calls, and that it's one incident, and that adds up to the 12,000. Just like I said in March, before the March meeting here, that night we had 5 officers respond at 12 o'clock in front of my house because somebody was walking out at 12 o'clock and somebody called the police department. So I had 5 police officers show up. Does that count as 5 incidents? That's what I said. I would like him to explain
No,
what 12.
no,
well,
Dennis, that would be, if there was one call to the police, that would be one incident.
Well, then I think 12, somebody needs to check the 911 calls.
Mayor, can I
I think
interject
it-
one
yeah.
other thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to give you an example. The day that the Clydesdales were in the city of Margate, the fire department, in that 24-hour period, but primarily in a smaller period, responded to 29 incidents during that 24-hour period. Fire department. I can guarantee that the police department responded to 125 incidents during that same period.
Right.
No question,
13
without
weeks.
a question.
13 weeks, crowds down here, yes.
To
Let's go for-
also,
let's-
I'm going to also
go ahead.
defend, any given day, we could respond to 15 calls for service or 20 calls for service. It could be February, it could be April, it could be June,
we're
July,
talking-
or August.
But the average is 52 per day.
But that's an average.
That's taking 12,000 calls, dividing it by 365 days. It works out to 52 calls a day.
It wouldn't surprise me if they had that
No,
many incidents.
okay, no, it's not. I would say check 9. You say, well, something is, because the last 39 weeks, you don't have that much value, how can I say, volume down here. The number of police, your fire department doesn't go past my house, starting now, as many times as it does in the summer. We're down below 5,000 people here, permanent residents. So where is, you're telling me 12,000, up 1,000 from last year. So I would like that checked by that, okay? I don't know if it's time to talk about ordinances or no.
It is not.
Okay, all right, then I will come back on that.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve Altman, 9003 Amherst Avenue, Margate. Just a follow-up question, Chief Adams, if you may. When you have a fire department call, in my experience, at least one police officer goes out with you. Would that be added as an incident on their count?
Absolutely. So
That's what I would
they would
think.
also be responding to whatever incident we're responding to, as well as us.
So there sort of is an overlap there.
Yeah, but they still have their separate incident reporting
Right.
system as well as us.
That's what I would think. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Kathy Heitzman, 22 South Adams Avenue. I wonder if we have any update on Margate Gardens and that,
On Margie, what?
isn't it Margate Gardens, that complex that had 6 or maybe 12? Have we
It's,
heard anything?
we have outside counsel working on it. They're working.
Oh, okay, so, but there's no updates for us? Okay, thank you.
All right, is there a motion to close public comment?
Motion.
Second?
Mayor Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Horn?
Yes.
All right, we will now have public comment on resolutions and ordinance adoption only, please.
Dennis Gordievsky, 7702 Amherst Avenue. The one I have a question about here is ordinance number 17-2024. It's an ordinance, the police department. What does it deal with that's being asked to be changed? Since we find this out, 24 hours before this meeting.
Which one is it, Dennis?
Ordinance 17-2024, ordinance amending Chapter 257, Vehicle and Traffic.
I believe these are handicap
Yeah,
spots.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Here they are, Kathy. Yep, flip. Yep.
Handicap parking on streets shall be amended to add the following locations. So we're adding handicap spots.
Okay, wouldn't it be easier to put that in there rather than just, I mean, this is what we get before a meeting. This was published yesterday, you know what I'm saying? So we look at it and say, okay, we don't know it. All right, fine.
The whole meeting agenda is posted on the website 48 hours prior to.
No, it wasn't. Yesterday, it was not, it was posted yesterday morning. I checked it on Tuesday.
It was updated yesterday
No,
morning.
no, no. Tuesday, it was not there Tuesday at all. I checked it all the way up to 4 o'clock.
Pretty good, but-
And Dennis, this is the second reading for that ordinance, so that was on the previous agenda, the previous meeting's agenda as
But it was
well.
not discussed.
You do
I-
not,
It was up for introduction at the last meeting.
Okay. The other thing I have here is the 210-2024. It's a resolution here about opposing the proposed rules to require more stringent rules for developing properties. And it's being opposed by our person who is our Director of Planning and Zoning. Can we get a reason why we're trying to oppose this? Because considering what happened at Margate Gardens and Lamberti's and Sunrise, Tequila, you would think you would want more stringent building codes.
this would prevent them from making higher and raising the flood level, the floorboard. You have.
Okay, why would that, okay, right now, we're building at 11 feet 6 inches.
They want to go 2 foot higher.
Yes.
They want to go 2 foot higher.
We're opposed to it.
Did we oppose it when it was 11 feet 6 inches?
No, but we're
No,
opposing this
okay,
one.
all right. We don't oppose, my concern with this is
You
that.
want them higher, in other words. You want them higher.
Well, I was told by our planning and zoning person that because I have solar power, I should build my house higher because we have no,
You can build your house higher.
I
You're
can't,
not at-
you paying for it? No, okay,
No, I don't think so.
no, and then before these houses are built, my solar power was there before that, okay?
This is a state mandate that most of the South Jersey communities are opposing.
Oh, so that's what we're saying, it's building another 2 foot higher.
Yeah, Dennis,
That's
we
one.
believe the current regulation is sufficient for our issues, and
Okay, are we gonna look into other issues? Let's say solar
Yes.
power. That
We-
people have, no?
I'm sorry?
I said, are you going to look into thing with people who are going with energy efficient things like solar power and whatever?
Look into it in what regard?
Putting laws into effect with building around homes like that existing already.
Yeah, I believe there are some laws already in place.
We have a master plan update coming up. Yes, we are.
Okay, because I was told to build my house higher by our planning and zoning person, which I thought was kind of ignorant at that time.
Well, I think that was because you were opposed to your neighbor building higher, and therefore you felt that your
No.
solar panels were blocked.
My neighbor, the house is 2 houses down.
Well,
The reason I
some kind of
opposed,
complaint about a shadow. I do recall that.
right, it does throw a it will throw a shadow on my home, exactly. But for an answer to say build your house higher, that's.
Well, if you
that-
wanted to preserve the ability of your solar panels to maximize your solar energy, you'd have to go up higher.
No, that was not how that it's presented.
Well, that's what-
Okay. Well, that's what you're saying. That was not what he said at that time.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so you're saying that this new master plan, you're going to have things about solar power in it. I mean, people that have solar panels in their homes.
The new master plan is going to look at every aspect of
Everything.
building in our community.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other comment on resolutions and ordinance adoption? Is there a motion to close public comment on resolutions and ordinance adoption?
Motion.
I will second.
Mayor Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Horn.
Yes.
Johanna, will you proceed, please?
May I have a motion for the introduction of ordinance number 18, 2024, bond ordinance appropriating $1,900,000 and authorizing the issuance of $1,850,000 in bonds and notes of the city of Margate City for various capital improvements or purpose authorized to be undertaken by the city of Margate City in the county of Atlantic, New Jersey.
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Horn.
Yes.
May I have a motion for the introduction of ordinance number 19, 2024, ordinance Bond ordinance providing for various water and sewer utility capital improvements in and by the city of Margate City and the county of Atlantic, New Jersey, appropriating $950,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $950,000 bonds or notes of the city for financing costs thereof.
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Horn.
Yes.
May I have a motion for the adoption of ordinance number 17-2024, an ordinance amending Chapter 257, Vehicle and Traffic of the Code of the City of Margate City, County of Atlantic, and State of New Jersey.
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Horn.
Yes.
May I have a motion for to adopt resolution number 198, 2024, authorizing bill payment and claims?
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Horn.
Yes.
May I have a motion for the adoption of resolution number 199, 2024, authorizing payment to Colmar Home Center?
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins.
I abstain.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Horn.
Yes.
May I have a motion for the consent agenda to approve resolution number 200, 2024 through resolution number 214, 2024?
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Horn.
Yes.
At this time, I'd like to have a motion to approve resolution number 215, 2024, declaring closed executive session.
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Horn.
Yes.
At this time, we'd like to ask everyone to step outside. We will resume at the end of our closed session.
Thank you, everybody.
Maureen, would you rather do 3 days?
We're good.
Okay, so we're gonna make a motion to come out of closed, session. Who would make that motion?
May I have a motion to come out of closed session?
Motion.
I will second.
All in favor?
Mayor Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Horn?
Yes.
So do we need a brief statement from me?
We need a
Have
brief
now
statement of,
In closed session, we discussed the Del Rossi versus numerous parties, including the City of Margate litigation with our attorney, Michael Barker. We are getting ready, preparing for potential trial in this, and of course, always an eye out to possibly be able to settle this. We're dealing with an insurance company as well. No decision has been made in any aspect of this, other than to have our attorney go forward and continue to represent us to the best of his ability. Is there anything else you need? That's it? Okay, good. We're done.
okay. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Mayor Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Commissioner Horn?
Yes.
Whatever dates